What's going on, guys? CGG Matt back. The Eastern Conference play-in has been nothing for a long while. Nobody's really cared about it, let's be honest with each other. But recently, shit's gotten intense. Let's talk about it. You see me looking over to my left, I'm referencing my note page. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, you know the deal. Let's go. I'm going to start it off with arguably, if not the hottest team in basketball at the time of recording. It is the Charlotte Hornets. I wouldn't say they're the hottest at the time, but over the last few months, they've been on fire since January 1st, the turn of the new year. They're first in offensive rating, sixth in defensive rating, and first in total net rating. They've been incredible. Over that same time span, they are second in offensive rebounding rate, third in defensive rebounding rate, and first in total rebounding rate. They've controlled the glass. Moussa Diabate, Ryan Kalkbrenner, their big men down low have really done a good job at securing rebounds, as well as on the offensive end, they have wings crashing, whether it's Kneppel, Miller, whoever, they're crashing the glass hard, looking to get another opportunity. I'm referencing since January 1st a lot. That's when their season really started to turn it around. So a majority of the stats that I pulled are pulled since January 1st, over the last 2 months of play. Since then, they averaged the most threes made in the league, as well as shooting the highest clip from three in the league. LaMelo, Brandon Miller, Con Kneppel, three electric and amazing three-point shooters. Miles Bridges helps here and there, but mostly those three are at the top, the ones that are taking a majority, the lion's share of the threes, and Con Kneppel just makes every three he takes, it feels like. More recently, though, they have lost back-to-back games. They suffered a huge loss to Miami because Miami's also in the play-in playing really good basketball. Trust me, we'll get to them. And then they lose in Phoenix last night in a game where it felt like they could have just done better, but they didn't really play well. Con Kneppel, Brandon Miller did not put their best foot forward. They did not play great games for Sunday Night Basketball. Currently, they're only 4 games behind Miami for the 7 seed, and they're only 3 games back from the 76ers. So they have a real chance to move up in these standings and really make some noise. Saying that, they do have one more game versus Miami, Orlando, and Philly. 3 teams that are basically in the play-in. Orlando's the 6th seed right now, but it's so close right now, they're probably going to end up getting dragged back in. So they do have some big games to move themselves up in the standings a little bit closer, take some ground on these teams, and potentially even move out of the play-in. It could happen. I don't think it's going to happen, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to move out unless they play perfect basketball for the last, 10 games. But realistically, if they can get home court in the play-in, it would be huge for them. They do have 2 more games against both Boston and the Knicks, which is 2 teams at the top of the standings, which could knock them down a little bit. They have to face some teams at the top of the standings. I know they did just beat Boston a few nights ago, but this is a different Boston team now with Jason Tatum, it seems. I don't want to overreact, but as a Celtics fan, can you blame me for getting excited? Didn't think so. I have a quote-unquote stat. I believe that the Hornets have 6 gimme games left. What do I define as a gimme game? As a team that you're facing that is openly tanking, very terrible, whether it's the Pelicans, Utah, or the Pacers. A team that's just openly bad and is not going to win that game. It's basically a game you should win. A gimme game. The Hornets have 6 of them left in the season. That could help them get home court advantage in the play-in tournament, unless they can somehow make it out. Like I said, I don't envision it happening. Currently, if they want to get out of the play-in, they have to get away from the 7 seed. The 6-seeded Orlando Magic have 35 wins, 35-28. The Hornets are at 32, so they're 4 games back of the 6-seeded Orlando Magic. I don't know who has the tiebreaker. Comment that down below if you do. Pretty important information for me to forget, don't get me wrong, but they're 4 games back of the play-in spot, or of the 6th seed to get out of the play-in spot. It's a real chance they can do it, and it's been a really fun story to see. They have one of the best records in the NBA since January 1st, like I said. Their big 3 of LaMelo, Brandon, and Con have been impressive to watch. Their supporting cast has really done a good job of stepping up, whether it's Kobe White, Moussa Diabate, Zion James. They have a deep cast of guys that have really helped step up down the stretch of the season. The Hornets have played really good basketball. I'd like to see them make it out of the play-in. I don't know if it's going to happen or possible, really, but I would like to see it. Or, alternatively, I would like them to get out of the play-in. I'll just say it like I want to. I don't want to see the Celtics face them in round 1, so I hope they make it out of the play-in tournament. Please, God, let them make it out of the play-in tournament. But realistically, the point of this video is saying that every team in the play-in right now feels like they're getting a little bit hot at the right time, a little bit dangerous as we move to the 9 seed, the Atlanta Hawks. Over the last month, the Atlanta Hawks are 5th in points per game and 3rd in rebounding, as well as 5th in assisting and 4th in steals per game. They're at the top of the graph in just about every important stat you can think of right now. Over the last month of basketball, meaning since the 9th. Today is the 9th at the time of recording. It'll probably release on the 9th too. So since February 9th, The Atlanta Hawks are 12th in offensive rating, but 6th in defensive rating for the 7th best net rating in basketball. The Atlanta Hawks have been playing really, really good basketball of late. They're winning the same way that they've been trying to win the entire season, by running and having fun. This is a power of friendship-ass team right now, to be completely honest with you. They don't have that many guys on max contracts. They have one all-star talent and a bunch of guys around them that just kind of fit. Whether it's Jonathan Kuminga being added at the deadline to add another element of fun and scoring to this team, or the guys that were already there that have just played an important role all season. Dyson Daniels, even though he can't shoot, is important to this team. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, very good. Onyeka Okongwu has become an elite shooter. The last month, since February 9th, they are 7-3 over that same time span. That's 10 games, including their 6-game win streak that they are currently on now. Although, I'll be honest, their 6-game win streak that they're currently sporting isn't the most impressive thing in the world, with those 6 games coming in a win over the Nets, 2 against the Wizards, 1 over the Portland Trail Blazers, 1 over the Bucks, and 1 over the Sixers. That's 6 total games. Maybe 2 good teams beat, but you can only beat who's in front of you on the schedule. Wins are wins, and that's all that matters when you're trying to climb the standings ladder. I will say the Blazers aren't in the gimme games section. The Hawks' next 3 games are against the Mavericks, Nets, and Bucks. There's a real chance they can extend this win streak to 9, and I know Giannis is back, and that makes the Bucks a little bit more dangerous, but they just seem like a team without heart right now, to be honest with you, and Atlanta is playing with fire. Jalen Johnson is dunking everything, it feels like. I've watched him dunk the ball countless times over the last, week. Face Orlando after these next 3 games, which could have huge play-in implications. It might even decide the play-in, to be honest with you, because if Orlando wins, they can really climb up out of there. But if Atlanta wins, they could really make their way up to that 8 seed, or maybe even higher, who knows. Down the stretch of the season, I think Atlanta has 7 gimme games left to work with, 7 games that they're expected to win. Basically, games where they're probably double-digit point favorites in all reality, a team against the Pacers or someone like that. They have 7 of those games left. They can really climb up if they can play consistent basketball. It's been something they've struggled with for a while because, let's face it, the Atlanta Hawks are a team that'll win 4 straight, lose 4 straight. They've been 500 for the longest time. They finally climbed out of that. I'm happy to see it, but is it sustainable? I don't know. I mean, they currently have the longest win streak in the NBA at 6. Who's to say? If they can extend it to 9 against the 3 teams that I labeled that aren't great teams, albeit, they could really make some headway in this. If they win 3 straight games, they can go to 36 wins, which could really get them all the way up to 6 right now. The Orlando Magic are the 6th seed with 35 wins. The Atlanta Hawks are on an upward trajectory, which is really good to see because, like I said, they've been 500 forever. They deserve something a little bit better. I know I haven't addressed the elephant in the room, the Magic City night. I will be in attendance. No, I'm just kidding. I won't be in attendance. I won't. It's disrespectful to women, Luke Cornett says. So, what Luke Cornett says must go, all right? If you want my true opinions on that, it's I don't care. I don't. We're grown-ass people. If you don't want your kids to go to Magic City night, don't go to your Magic City night with your kids. If you do, go. I don't care. You're going there for a basketball game, all right? It's not like they're breaking out the stripper poles at halftime. That just costs too much money, I'd assume. Fun to see the Hawks turn around with their defense being an important part of that. That's something they've struggled with all season, is figuring out their defense, rebounding as well, especially when they traded Porzingis. They really didn't have much size left. So the fact that they've been able to piece together these wins, very impressive. Moving on to the 8th seed, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. All these teams in this video are on an upward trajectory in my mind. Philadelphia is the only team, exclusive team, that I feel like is on a downward trajectory. Since the new year, the 76ers are 17-15. Not their best foot forward. They're not planting their stake in the ground, is basically what I'm saying. They're playing 500 ball. Not great. The wheels fell off of the 76ers at about the usual time it always does for the 76ers since Joel became their biggest star. The injuries piled up, and the team is decimated by them now. Joel Embiid has played only 5 games since February 1st. Since the start of last month, he's played 5 games. That's just not enough. Obviously, he's been hurt. That's the expectation, though, with Joel Embiid. You're going to miss Embiid. The thing is, they have Maxey, Edgecombe, and all these guys that can help supplement that. But they're saying Embiid may come back next week. With his injury history, I can't guarantee that. He'll be back in around mid-March. That'll help the team out, but at the same time, I genuinely don't know if he'll be back then. He has the most insane injury history, maybe of every star player in the NBA. The kicker, Maxey's also out, though. Maxey has a pinky finger injury after it was a pretty nasty collision with Adem Bona. I mean, I don't want to go, face to face with Adem. I don't want to run into him like Maxey did, because Adem's a massive individual. A scary collision. Luckily, it was only a pinky injury, to be honest with you. Tyrese Maxey's hurt. He'll be out for a little while as well, and when he does come back, we don't even know if he'll be 100%. He might be playing through the pinky injury. Of course, Paul George, PEDP, whatever you want to call him, he's still suspended. He's not eligible to play until March 25th. So the end of the month is when they get Paul George back. Maybe they'll all be healthy by that time. I'm trying to talk myself into it almost, but it's really difficult to. And over the last few games, they've been out VJ Edgecombe with a lumbar injury. I don't know what Philly has done to anger the basketball gods. I don't know what Joel Embiid did to anger the basketball gods, but they have really smited this team. God has smited this team with the plague of injuries, and they're just getting ravaged by them. They traded Jared McCain at midseason, which now looks even worse considering VJ and Maxey are both hurt. You need somebody who can help score off the bench. You need somebody who can help score, period, without these guys. I think Jared McCain would have helped. Maybe they should just stop giving the Oklahoma City Thunder free guards. They should have learned their fucking lesson after they did it with Isaiah Joe, and then they went and did it again. I'm going to have to back up off that, but that just made me mad. Philadelphia 76ers are 21-12 with Joel Embiid in the lineup. That's a pretty damn good record, which means they're also 13-17 without Joel Embiid. So again, just like since 2018, 2019, whenever, they've been very reliant on Embiid, and when he's not there, they aren't playing well. And Joel Embiid has a nasty list of past injuries that make you really worry and concerned. I would like to root for Philadelphia down the stretch here to make a little bit of noise and maybe make it out of the play-in, but I'm not sure. Like I said, they're the only team on a downward trajectory that I will be talking about in this video. Really tough with the injuries that they've had. I mean, they have 7 gimme games left this season. 7 gimme games. Will they even be gimme games if Joel Embiid's out? I don't know. Is it a guarantee that they'd beat the Wizards without Joel Embiid? I don't feel like it is, and that's no slight at the Wizards, even though it kind of does. It is a little bit of a snide jab at them. I'm not trying for it to be. If they face the Pacers or the Pelicans without Joel Embiid, suddenly those gimme games don't feel like gimmies anymore. Miami Heat, currently with a 5-game winning streak, surprisingly, the Heat have really turned the ship around. And to me at least, it all started when Bam Adebayo issued the challenge and basically said, this team is better than the play-in, and we shouldn't be here, essentially. And they've been better since then. Over their 5-game win streak, they've gotten pretty decent wins. They beat the Rockets, the Hornets, and the Pistons. Those are 3 good teams. I know the Hornets record-wise aren't great, but you understand what I mean. They've been playing hot basketball over the last few months, so it's a quality win. Since February 1st, over the last month, basically, they have the 4th best offensive rating and 5th best defensive rating in the NBA for the 3rd best total net rating. They've done a really good job at locking in on the defensive end, which is something I felt as though they've struggled with pretty much all season. Bam himself has been one of the biggest, if not the biggest, catalyst for change with the Miami Heat, to be honest with you. Bam, since February 1st, has a plus-minus of 14.3. The second closest to him is Simone Fontecchio at a plus 9.5. Fontecchio plays half the minutes Bam does, by the way. Bam Adebayo has been their leading scorer, leading rebounder, as well as still one of their best playmakers on the team over this stretch, while having to still be efficient. His three-point percentage has kind of dipped a little bit, but he's still hitting his shots, and he's, again, their leading scorer on a team with Tyler Hero, Norman Powell. Bam Adebayo has been leading them in scoring over the last month. Really helped Miami over this last month stretch has been their ability to hit three-point shots. I know, mythical. In this league, you can hit a 3 and it really helps you win games. Incredible formula for winning right there. That's money ball almost out of me. Andrew Wiggins, Tyler Hero, Kasparas Jakuponis, Myron Gardner, Davion Mitchell, all of which are significant players in their rotation. I know Myron Gardner's not like a 25-minute-a-game guy, but he gets run. All of those guys are shooting 44% or better from 3. That's a very impressive hot stretch of shooting from those guys right there, especially, in my opinion, Jakuponis. This guy is a little ball of energy for this team. Like, he's not little in the sense where he's a small guy. I mean, like, he's a rookie, and he comes in, and it's just, it's a complete different, it's a change of pace. He's a real, like, good guard, I guess. They have a good guard. Davion Mitchell's very good at what he does. He's their leading assist man, I believe. But Jakuponis has played some really good ball. The Heat have 5 gimme games left, but 4 games against play-in competitors, other play-in teams, i.e. the Orlandos, the Atlantas, teams like that. Teams Those games are going to be really important down the stretch of the season, so we'll see how that plays out for Miami. Like I said, they are the second hottest team on this list in terms of win streak. They've played really well, and like I said, they found their shooting stroke. They play with pace. They play upbeat. They still have Jaime Jaquez coming off their bench and being a six-man of the year candidate. They got a lot going on over there. I know it's been a lot of BS that's come out about them this season, whether it's Ware and Coach Spo having their beef or anything involving stuff like that. They're young guys not getting enough playing time and finding the pecking order in the rotation. It's been a weird season for Miami, but they've turned it around. But what I do want to talk about before we flip on to the last team, Bam Adebayo. I spent a majority of the Heat segment talking about Bam Adebayo, but I want to do it a little bit more because he just hit 10,000 points yesterday. He is the second player in Miami Heat franchise history to reach 10,000 points. Obviously, the first was Glenn Rice. No, it was Dwayne Wade. I did want to say that as a Kentucky basketball fan, I watched Bam Adebayo in college a good amount. I didn't think he would ever be this good. I saw a good defensive player. I kind of saw Moussa Diabate in him, to be honest with you. Like a good rangy big man that can rebound. Never really going to be a high workload offensively type of guy. Never going to be a 15, 20 a game guy. Completely shattered that ceiling. And he's been a stabilizing force on this team, at least in my opinion, since the post-Wade era. To be honest with you, my images of the 2015, 2016, 2017 Heat, not great. I remember Hassan Whiteside, too much Tyler Johnson, a lot of Justice Winslow, a lot of Josh Richardson, some Goran Dragic leading scorers. Bam Adebayo's been there through it all, through the ass teams, through the the finals appearances. He's been there. He's been there through it all. He's been an elite defender, and I know people have questioned his offensive skill set a majority of his career. That's just how it is when you're a great player. There's expectations on you. Bam has become a 20-point-per-game scorer for a guy that I was never sure would even be an above-average scorer. I didn't know if he would ever be a good scorer to begin with. He's done really, really well for himself. And y'all remember when Bam Adebayo was a rookie, and I think it was year 2, actually. They make the playoffs, and Bam is arguably playing better than Hassan Whiteside in their first-round matchup. I remember that. I'm getting old, you know. Shout out to Tyler Johnson. Remember when he got that bag for absolutely no reason? God, that was good times when the Heat were straight up awful. I loved every second of it. But I also like Bam Adebayo, so, you know, double-edged sword there. The last team I want to talk about, the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. They've won 4 straight games, including a blowout win against the Timberwolves, which is very impressive on their part. But the offense is still a little bit wonky. I don't know how else to describe it. Since February 1st, over the last month basically, they're still 18th in offensive rating. I was going to say 16th. No, that's too high. 18th in offensive rating. 6th in defensive rating. That's been their strength for the entirety of the season. They have to rely on a middling offense and a great defense down the stretch if they want to make it and stay out of the play-in game. Desmond Bane's always been a top scorer for them consistently, but since February 1st, he's shooting 45% from 3. Close to 50% from 3 is just ridiculous, especially on the volume Desmond Bane takes threes. He's been a really big impact player for them. Their best shooter, their most consistent, I would say their most reliable, efficient scorer. Paolo does a really good job of getting downhill, but Bane has become a consistent shooter from outside who can also create off the dribble inside. I will say Jalen Suggs' health has also really helped this team as well because he is probably their most efficient passer. He has one of the highest assist to turnovers on the team. He's done a really good job at passing and getting teammates involved this year while not turning the ball over. I said hacking. While not turning the ball over a ton. 38% from 3. So shout out to Jalen Suggs. He went bald. And everything makes sense now. It's all clicking. That's really all it took was Jalen Suggs to finally admit that hair was weak as hell and it needed to go. Thank you, Jalen Suggs. I didn't want to look at that hair anymore. 6-2 over their last 8 games, but 6-2 over 8 games has never felt so weird and ugly at the same time. Like I said, their offense still isn't the most beautiful thing in the world. They're basically like the anti-Knicks. The Knicks are an elite offense, middle-of-the-pack defense. The Magic are middle-of-the-pack offense, elite defense. Gave credit where it was due to Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs. I've yet to talk about the guy, Paolo Banchero. He's the main guy on their team. He's the main attraction. You know what I mean? He's the guy that they drafted first overall. And he's done a really good job recently, and I'm happy for him. He deserves some credit for being a consistent inside presence. Can he shoot the 3? Fuck no. Over the last month, he's shooting 34% from 3, though. That feels like a career high. But he has been really good at finishing around the rim. He's playing more like, they compared him to Bron, remember that? That was a stupid comparison. But he's done a really good job at getting downhill, getting inside, getting 2 feet in that paint, because that's where he's at his most valuable. In the mid-range, short post area, if he can get around there, get toward the paint, get 2 feet by the restricted area, he is 10 times more valuable. And he's done that a lot recently, and I'm really happy for him. I like Paolo Banchero. Is he the most efficient passer? No, I don't even think he has a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. But at this current time, without Franz Wagner there, they need somebody who can pass the ball and play make. He's got to do it, and he's done it relatively well. I mean, good enough. Magic have 6 gimme games left, as well as 5 against playing teams, playing foes. So things are really going to go wire to wire for them, essentially, this season. They're currently sitting at the 6th seed, but it's a scary 6th seed because they have less wins than the 7th seed, Miami Heat. They just have 1 less loss. In 2 weeks' time, there's a real chance that Orlando can fall all the way down to the 9 seed. It could happen. Theoretically, it could very well happen. Not sure that it's going to happen, but the Eastern Conference has become just so crowded down at the bottom, especially with how hot the Hornets have been playing, how hot the Hawks have been, how hot the Magic been, how hot the Heat have been. These teams have turned it on late in the season. This is the perfect time for your team to go on a run, to make a play-in run. I mean, I know the play-in isn't the most sexy thing in the world. Not many teams really like to see it, but I know these teams are definitely encouraged by what they've seen, especially the Heat and the Hawks. Those are 2 teams that have hovered 500 for the last 5 years now. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. The Hawks made the conference finals in 2021. The Heat made the finals in 2020. I'm being exaggerative there a little bit. But what I am saying is that these teams have been play-in moguls. They've been living in the play-in for the latter half of the last few years, and it's really nice to see them go above 500. You know, the Heat, the Hawks have been 500 floaters basically for the last few years. It's nice to see them put together some wins. Maybe they can finish the season strong, get out of the play-in. It'd be really nice to see. It's just something to watch coming down the stretch of this season because the Eastern Conference play-in has been pretty damn bad since they installed the play-in format. The only team that's ever really made anything of it was the Miami Heat. And the Heat have the chance to do that again, but it is something to watch down the stretch of this season, especially with the top seeds in the East not particularly playing their best. The Pistons got blown out last night by the Miami Heat. They've lost 4 straight. Things are starting to get a little bit dicey there. The Knicks haven't necessarily played the best basketball over the last 10 games at 6-4. Only the Celtics have really done a good job at the top of the East of playing their best basketball down the stretch. Teams struggling to put their best foot forward, including Toronto, who isn't even in this video, but Toronto, shit's getting spooky. 19-11 on the road for Toronto, 17-16 at home for them. Scary shit. The Eastern Conference is very clustered right now, with the Raptors having 36 wins and the 9-seeded Hawks having 33 wins. Shit's spooky. Watch your back if you're an Eastern Conference team around the middle of the pack, whether you're a Raptors, Magic fan. They are coming for you from the play-in. If you stayed till this late in the video, that means you enjoyed it, which means you should like and subscribe to the channel. 1 + 1 = 2. I'm going to go catch games. See you guys in the next one.